All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakar HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders. On down, peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly divine the word in truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you believers out there, the Akim wa Akwatim. So, yeah. Hey, you might hear fireworks and stuff. Y'all already know what it is. It's the 4th of July. You know, people outside celebrating this holiday. So, you know, if you hear it, hey, I can't run from it in my crib, you know. I ain't celebrating it or nothing, but, you know, people outside, that's what they doing, you know. But, you know, we already know the talk of the town, really. And it's this guy, I think his name, Jalen Walker, who got shot like 60 times with 90 rounds fired. And then I heard another brother was talking about it might have been more than 100 rounds. But, you know, and I'm not justifying this dude because you Israelite men out there, man, you got to realize that, hey, when the police pull you over, just do what you're supposed to do, man. Don't run and all of that. Because I was reading a lot of the comments on this video. And see, this is how you know Esau, man. Esau don't got no mercy. Esau, the Edomites, they don't care. See, if you go through all these comments, they being sarcastic. They don't care. Because why? They are enemies. All right? The so-called white man is your enemy. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The so-called white man and the rest of these nations is your enemy. All right? But Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's your arch enemy. See? When you go through these comments, they not caring about that. All they saying is he shouldn't have ran, had on the ski mask. I ain't know about the ski mask, which y'all niggas out here, man. Y'all, hey, the police gonna be justified with taking y'all heads off. Cause y'all look crazy out here. You wearing a ski mask, you doing all of that. Now I'm not condoning because I don't know the whole situation, okay? As far as every nook and cranny detail. Okay, but it said that my man, you know, he fired at the officer or fired a shot. But at the time when they shot him, he was unarmed, all right? But my point is, it's excessive. All right, it was excessive. And that shows you the hatred. And one of these comments said that. It was it looked like she was from the Northern Kingdom, if I can find that comment. Because I was just reading the comments. Here we go. Lion Brave. Let me look at her picture. She looked like, I don't know, she could be a heathen, but it almost looked like a Northern tribe. But she said, you're not facing any threat when someone is running away from you and you are pursuing them. They should have never had their guns drawn. The amount of bullets that entered this unarmed man is absurd. It shows malevolence in all those police officers, right? They are clearly trigger happy and need to be on trial as murderers, see? Now, I'm going to go look. You couldn't see, but these Edomites, see? He being sarcastic. This fine, upstanding young man's career at Harvard will tragically never take place. Now, sniff, sob, lolly. See, the Edomites, they don't care about, you know, they are enemies. But you see what she said. Trigger happy. Malevolence. Let's look that word up. Malevolence. Let's look that word up before I get in. I'm going to get into the lesson. Wait, let me go back. Yep. Malevolence. That's what I'm slacking. The quality or state of being malevolent behavior. All right, let's go to malevolent. Having, showing, or arising from a tense, often vicious ill will. See? Spite or hatred. See? Productive of harm or evil. Right. And see, who hate us, who despise us, who want ill will to us, our enemy. Okay? Esau Edom. Okay? And when you go to Ezekiel 35, and 5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. See? And she chose the right word. Malevolent. Okay? Let me see.
Malevolent.
It's not going to do it.
Malevolent.
Malevolent. Yep. See? Wait, let me go back. It says hatred down there. Vicious ill will. See? Because that was overkill. You know, they would have shot him about 10 times. You know, it was a couple officers, like 8 officers. I'm not going to play the video because they might catch me for a copyright, but we all know what it is, man. We know the talk of the town, okay? 8 officers times, that's 10 shots each, okay? So it's overkill. And most of the shots they said came when he was on the ground. So obviously he was no threat at that point. But she chose the right word, see? Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. And what's the sword? The modern day sword is the gun, the missile, okay? Things of that nature, tanks, okay? Knives is, you know, people still use knives. But most of the time it's the gun, okay? By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity, had an end. Okay? See? And when you let's go back to the humble beginnings of where that hatred come from. All right? Because it all stems from somewhere. This is a spiritual hate. So, you know, when people's like, can we get along? No, we can never. You know, you might have some cool little Edomite friends or somebody at the job or this, that, and the fourth. You might know, you know. But as a nations, no. We always going to be enemies. Genesis 27:38. All right. And this is when, you know, Jacob had got the blessing from Isaac. Okay. He supplanted Esau. Okay. And what happened? Genesis 27:38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. See? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shall thy live. Okay? See, that's Esau's blessing. And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, see, in his mind, in that lie, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother. See, but you see that word hate and sword. Okay, those are 2 words we want to focus on. All right. In verse 41, in verse 40, it says, and by thy sword, remember sword, shall thou live. In verse 41, it says, what? And Esau hated Jacob. So now when we go back, all right, this is where it stems from. It go even further than that when you go to Cain and Abel. All right. But see, but in Esau, Jacob, now when you go back to verse 5, what it will say, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, see, there go that hate, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, see, there go that sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? And see, when you go to Zechariah 1:15, it says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. All right. And see the rest of you nations as well. For I was a bit little displeased. I was but a little displeased. Slakia. All right. He was a little displeased with the children of Israel. And they helped for the affliction. See. All right. And you other nations did that. And Esau, our iniquity had an end. But you keep till this day. Like I said, I'm not condemning the dude, but at the same time, that's overkill, man. Ezekiel 35 and verse 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And see, what did old girl say in her comment? See, it shows the malevolence in all those police officers. They are clearly trigger happy and need to be on trial as murderers. See, but see, they don't understand. Esau, he don't care. That's what I meant to say. See, all these is Edomites. Why run and that's true, if you have nothing to hide and you feel you've broken no law, why get out and run? Are you trying to get the cops to react? I feel sorry for good people who have learned. Wait, let's go. See, the media, they going into it. And like I said, hey, y'all black men, so-called black men out there, man, y'all got to get y'all shit together, flat out. All right, because this is what's going to happen. But 60 times, guess what? That's overkill, man. And it goes back to this young lady's comment. Okay. See? And she used the right word, because when we looked up malevolent, what did it say? Having, showing, or arising from intense, often vicious ill will, spite, or hatred. And where do that come from? It comes from Genesis, the 27th chapter, mainly. All right. Now, it's back in Ezekiel 35, okay? Verse 6 again, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. See, and Esau Edom is what? The red man. Said he came out red all over like a hairy garment. He came all red, hairy garment. And if you ask the average Edomite, so-called white person, how they like they steak, they going to say rare or at best medium rare because they want that blood. Ezekiel 35 verse 7, thus will I make Mount Seir desolate and cut off from it him that pisseth out and him that returneth. See? And when you go to Mount Seir, that's speaking about Esau Edom. Matter of fact, just for edification's sake. Just for edification. And Salakia for the fireworks. All right, y'all know what it is. All right. So when you go to verse 7, all right. And you notice when I said make Mount Seir desolate, the fireworks went off. And guess what? The Lord fireworks gonna be the missiles, man. See? So when you go to Seir, hairy or shaggy, see? Hairy or shaggy. Patriarch of the Horites, the inhabitants of Edom before the descendants of Esau, the Edomites, the land of Edom, south of the Dead Sea. What did it say? Hairy or shaggy? And let's just do it. See, this all going back. That's how the scriptures link up. When you go to Genesis 3, Salaki. Genesis 25th chapter. Here we go. Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red, see, that bloody man, all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. So when you go into Seir, that's hairy or shaggy. And then you see Edom, Esau. All right. See, that's going into Esau, Edom. All right. So Ezekiel 35 and 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right. And see, the Lord gonna make Esau desolate, because even if you go to Isaiah the 14th chapter, all right, and this is going into, hey, what we gonna do to our oppressors, man? Isaiah 14, one of my favorite chapters, all right? So when you go down to the 21st verse, what do it say? Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, see? And you will hear these certain Edomites say, well, that was in the prepare. That was in the old days. That wasn't us. And they don't understand reincarnation, number one. And number two, okay, let's say that. But you're reaping the benefits of that. Number two, And number 3, Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon. And Babylon, we already know, Babylon the Great is speaking about America. All right. Babylon, the name and the remnant and the son and nephew, said the Lord. And why the son and the nephew is mentioned? Because that's where the seed line come from, the male, not the woman. You of your father's seed. That's why he didn't say the mom and the daddy or the son and the niece. No, and son and nephew, saith the Lord. That means Esau ain't going. They're not gonna. They're gonna be finished when you wipe out the males. That's why a lot of time in war they would just kill off all the males and just take the women, because they already knew. Number one, the women ain't gonna do nothing, and they're the weaker vessel. Okay, they're no threat. And number 2, the men. That's the seed line. That's how you bring back that seed. Okay, even the little kids, because that boy can eventually grow up and get revenge. Okay, but if you just snatch the women up, you know what I'm saying, and you can make them concubines and, concubines, for your pleasure. Hey, that's it. You kill off all the men. But see, this is the judgment for Esau, Edom. All right. This is going to be the judgment for Esau, Edom, man. All right. And I just wanted to bring this out. Like I said, I'm not condoning what he did. Hey, you brothers out there, man, get yourself together, man. All right. Because if he ain't had no warrants and all of that, he could have just took the ticket, man. Even if it was impounding your car and you had to go to jail. Hey, your mother, okay, this is his mother right here. Now look at her. She's on the news, man. You gone, man. All right. See? And that shit is overkill, man. I don't care what these Edomites talking about, man. That shit overkill. 90 bullets. Over 90 bullets. Y'all hit him 60 times. You ain't got, man. Y'all could have. I get it. These police out there, they putting their lives on the line, okay? And somebody shoot at you, hey, you gonna buck back because you got to make it home. But at the same time, it's overkill. And why is that? Because you brothers out there and sisters, but speaking to you brothers, you Israelites, and the so-called white man is your enemy. All right? He is your enemy. Your number one enemy is the so-called white man. I don't care if you know a couple of cool ones on the job, you friends with one. Look, as nations, because the Lord don't deal with individuals. He deal with nations. All right? And that nation is an enemy of our nation. Okay? But I'm gonna leave off on this note. This is the gospel, meaning the good news. All right? They're going into slavery. All right? If you knew, so-called white men and all the rest of these nations, they're going into slavery. And Esau, we're going to break you in the kingdom, man. And I'm telling you that. And matter of fact, let me just go back to Isaiah 14. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and yet will choose Israel and set them in their own land. All right, because we ain't in our land. Them heathens over there in our land. Them fake Jewish people. Them fake Jews over there, they in our land. Got to looking raggedy because they dusty. They ain't the people. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right, and if you knew, Jacob, name was changed to Israel. All right, our patriarch, our forefather Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, and that's where you get Israelite. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Okay. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And what servants and handmaids? We already know what that is. Slaves. All right. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. And who are our oppressors? Our arch enemy, Esau, Edom. 60 shots, man. Over 90 shots fired. Why? Because Esau, Edom, that's your enemy. All right. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. Till the next lesson, Shalom.